What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We're here on the Wrestling Connection YouTube channel. My name is Chris and I am here for my WrestleMania Backlash 2021 pay-per-view predictions. The pay-per-view is coming to us all on the 16th of May, this Sunday, on the WWE Network and Peacock. For American viewers, I feel bad, really, because, I mean, I don't feel bad at all, but we're still very lucky here in the UK that we've got the full network. I believe the network's still being built up again in the States, which is a shame. But it's all about that dollar, ladies and gents. Right, WrestleMania Backlash, not just Backlash, this is the Backlash from WrestleMania, and I had mentioned on the podcast to Glenn before that I thought that they'd be calling this one WrestleMania Backlash because they were maybe going to do small shows in crowds and that sort of thing, with crowds I should say, as they build up to say SummerSlam or something where they go back to full capacity indoors. UFC have already gone back full capacity for their pay-per-views. They did the show in Jacksonville a couple of weeks ago, and then they're doing the one in Houston this weekend, indoors capacity. And of course AEW doing full capacity for Double or Nothing at Daly's Place. And of course we had WrestleMania with 25,000 fans per night at WrestleMania. I thought maybe they'd find some form of smaller stadium outdoors, they'd get a few thousand people in for each pay-per-view, and it would be WrestleMania Backlash. It's just as good as WrestleMania, but it's a different one. WrestleMania Money in the Bank. But I kind of get it, it's like the Backlash from WrestleMania, but that was always implied anyway. I don't know. But can I just say as well, this card is ridiculous. So many interesting matches. There's only 6 of them, and every single match is something different, and it's so refreshing. You know, WWE is really guilty sometimes of being a bit too samey, and it's been happening a lot recently. There's this current thing right now where it's if 2 people are in a rivalry, they will team up and they will face the tag champions. Can they coexist? Find out on Monday. And it's just that I feel like it happens a lot. Which is fine, it's always not a new thing, it's always happened. You know, you try and I think back to John Cena and Shawn Michaels winning the tag titles together. That one just popped into my head, but it's happened a bunch. But I just feel like they've been going back to that story quite a lot in that sort of way to promote the rivalry, and that's fine. But it's just nice to see some different matches. You know, for example, Roman Reigns and Cesaro. I feel like Roman Reigns and Cesaro have been in the company for so long. Cesaro approaching a decade now anyway. And they've had a couple of matches here and there, especially when they were in the Shield and that sort of thing. But I can't think of a long, really meaningful singles match between the two of them. And this, of course, is Cesaro's first singles world title match and first singles main event on a pay-per-view in his whole career, which is ridiculous. It seems like he's been building up a lot of this momentum on SmackDown. A lot of people just going to bat for him and that sort of thing. It happened quite a lot on SmackDown recently with Seth Rollins and Big E, Apollo Crews as well. So that's good. That shows you just SmackDown is just a better show right now. It's just better quality, building stars and that sort of thing that Raw is really lacking in my opinion. But Roman Reigns and Cesaro was such an interesting match. Roman Reigns is going to win, that's my prediction anyway, but I would love some sort of tomfoolery here in order to get the title on Cesaro, just to say Cesaro's been a world champion. They can put the title back on Roman whenever they want, and it does not matter, you know. But it does matter in terms of him being a great champion, but it doesn't matter that he's going to lose it because they're going to get it back really soon anyway, I think give it to Cesaro and have Roman win it back at SummerSlam or something. Who cares? Roman Reigns is the best. He's going to win it back at some point. So just to make Cesaro feel like he's reached his potential and he's fulfilled his destiny and finally won a world title, I just think that'd be brilliant. But my prediction is Roman, because I don't think they're going to do that. I suggested to my mate Fraser the other day that what they should do is they should have Jimmy Uso cost Roman the match and have Cesaro win, and then do Jimmy Uso and Cesaro versus Jey Uso and Roman Reigns in tag matches. I think that'd be so interesting, having the Usos in opposite teams, but for a good reason. Then in the end, Jimmy eventually turns on Cesaro and the title goes back to Reigns. Something like that. We've never seen something like that before, 2 twin brothers, fighting against each other. We've had the Hardys, but it's not been quite the same. They weren't twins. We've had the Bellas, I guess, but that's a different story. Right, so yeah, Roman Reigns and Cesaro is going to be great. I think it should go on last. I hope it does, because it is the rightful main event, and Roman Reigns will win that one. Although I'd love Cesaro. I'm a big Cesaro fan. I'd love Cesaro to win the world title. We have Damian Priest versus The Miz. This is the only match on the show that I'm not particularly excited about or really intrigued by. I think it's a good match. I think it will be a good match. I like both wrestlers, especially Miz. It's really cool to see how big of a deal Damian Priest is seeming on Raw right now. being a new recruit and that sort of thing. So I think Damien Priest will win. The Miz will be great. This is a lumberjack match. There'll be some tomfoolery in here, and it's one of my favourite words, by the way. That's why I keep saying it. But yeah, Damien Priest will win, and it will help him become a bigger star as well. And once we get Keith Lee back as well, I think that'll really help that kind of main event, sort of sub-main event division on Raw too. I don't know what's happened with Keith Lee. I'm just assuming it's an injury, but yeah, Damien Priest to win that one. We have the Dirty Dogs versus Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio, and this is a no-brainer. Dominic and Rey Mysterio will win the tag titles here, and they will become the first ever father and son pairing to be tag champions in WWE. That's hilarious. I've been such a big fan of the tag division on SmackDown. It was a crime they didn't get a match at WrestleMania. They should have done. The 2 nights provided extra time. They should have done that. I stand by that. They had the match on SmackDown. They could have just had that match, which was about 8 minutes or something. It wouldn't have taken up much time, and put it on WrestleMania and made it feel bigger, giving them a WrestleMania spot in front of a crowd, for God's sake. They've been longing for that for so long. So yes, Rey Mysterio and Dominic. Can't believe Dominic is going to be a champion. I remember when Dominic was just a wee boy. We have Rhea Ripley defending the Raw Women's Championship against Asuka and Charlotte Flair. Arguably should have been the WrestleMania match. Because the Asuka and Rhea Ripley match just fell a little bit short, in my opinion. It just fell a little bit flat. But I think this is probably going to be another great in-ring match. It's going to be another great triple threat match for the women's division, and Rhea Ripley will retain here, setting up a match between Rhea and Charlotte at the next pay-per-view, which will be awesome because they had that great WrestleMania match in the pandemic WrestleMania at WrestleMania 36. Speaking of the Women's Championship though, the SmackDown Women's Championship, Bianca Belair defends against Bayley. Another great pairing, another great matchup. Again, maybe, Bayley should have been involved in the WrestleMania match. She should have been involved somehow. Yes, Bianca Belair will retain here. Bayley's got plenty of time to get the title back. She had this really long reign before. She's fine doing what she's doing, being very entertaining and stuff. We're still having to build Bianca, and Bianca Belair will retain, in my opinion, here. And the main event, or I guess one of the other main events, is the Raw Championship, the WWE Championship, in a triple threat match. Bobby Lashley defending against Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman. I think Lashley will retain here. I mean, I'd like Drew to win. I guess if Braun wins, it's something different. But I'm enjoying Lashley's reign, I guess. I'm not a big fan of Raw right now, I must say. It's the first time I've really said that, but I look forward to SmackDown so much, and I look forward to Dynamite so much every week, and when it comes to Raw and NXT right now, I'm not that fussed. I'm actually more fussed about NXT now than I am Raw, which is crazy because Raw's got so many good wrestlers and it's Raw, for God's sake, but yeah, maybe that would help things if Drew was the champion again, I don't know, but yes, I imagine Lashley retains here. I would be a little bit upset, not upset, but a bit miffed if Drew won the title here again, and it was in the Thunderdome again. I'd like him to win it in front of a crowd. I think he should have won it at WrestleMania. But again, we're still trying to build Lashley up in this reign, so I'm fine with that too. So I say Bobby Lashley retains. But hey, it's going to be a great show. I'm looking forward to WrestleMania Backlash. I hope you guys are too. Thank you so much for subscribing and viewing here on the Wrestling Connection YouTube channel. You can get us on social media, on Twitter at WrestleConnect1 and on Instagram at WrestleConnection, with brand new episodes every single Sunday. This coming Sunday, actually, we have my story about the time I met Sheamus, who isn't on the show, which is a shame because he's been doing some good work too, but that's fine. Until next time, folks, thanks very much for watching and listening, and I'll see you all next time.